It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focus late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to inspire, our mission is to empower, and our mission is to provide you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Dr. LaToya Wiggins, who's in the building. How are you, Dr. LaToya?
Hey everybody. Hey Shay. I'm doing so well. How about you?
Well, I'm excited to have you here. You're talking about a very important topic. They're going to Google you. Don't worry about that. They'll read your bio and all that stuff. But I'm curious. You're going to be talking about how these busy entrepreneurs can go back to being a mom and winning in so many words here. And I'm curious. When they got into being an entrepreneur, they knew they had a 9-to-5 job. They knew they had children, or they knew they had responsibilities. They knew they had so much going on in their life. And now you're telling them they can have it all and still win. And it's a ride as an entrepreneur. So here's the question. What are some of the challenges that are facing mompreneurs today in order for them to win in business and in their life?
Yes, that's a great question, Shay. So I think the problem is, you already mentioned it. We're trying to do it all. And the thing is, you can't always do it all at one time. I do believe you can have it all, but you can't do it all at one time. We really have to prioritize what's most important to focus on, in any season of our lives. So as a mom or a dad, even if you're single with no kids, a lot of times we put so much on our to-do list. There's so much we want to accomplish, which is great. But again, we really have to prioritize what's the best focus for this season of your life. There's so many things I still want to do. I can't do it right now. I'm too busy. I have 3 kids, a husband, my business, so I really have to see what's my main focus, what's most important to me right now, and then just take small steps instead of trying to do it all, or you will burn out.
Now, one of the things you talk about a lot is self-care. And self-care means different things to different people. So can you first break it down and talk about what is self-care? And then once we understand what self-care is, um, why is it so important that we make it more of a focus? Because, I guess there's an old saying, I know it's overworn and people say it all the time. It's easy to do and easy not to do. So as you're listening and watching, you, the viewer, we appreciate you. Kind of listen with new ears. Don't listen like, I think I know this. No, how am I applying it? So what is self-care, and why is it maybe more important now than maybe
Mhm.
ever in the history of at least my time being here on earth?
Yes, I think self-care, it's become a buzzword these past few years, however long, because we are doing too much. I don't, I haven't lived decades and years ago, but centuries ago, but I feel like people back then, they had a focus, and that's what their focus was. Whether they were a carpenter, I don't know why that popped in my head, maybe Jesus, but like a carpenter, or blacksmith, whatever. You had your focus, and then women, we were just taking care of the kids. And now these days we're doing so much, and especially even as Black people, we are doing so much. Coming from slavery and just trying to take over the world, in a good way. Rising above, getting the game. We're both in the book, getting the game. We're getting in the game of life and trying to come after everything that we were called to do, we were purposed to do. But again, we're doing a little bit too much at one time, so we are burning out. If you even look at celebrities, sometimes you look at it like, oh, they have it all. Yeah, they have it all. And what do you see? They're going through issues like with suicide. They're being hospitalized because they're not taking good care of themselves. And that's why self care is so important. So, back to what you asked, self care is so much more than getting your hair done, your nails done, getting the massage. Even for guys, same thing, just chilling, getting your hair cut, looking good, feeling good. It's great. It can be part of your self-care routine, but it's so much deeper than that. Self-care for me is nourishing every part of you, the mental, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, making sure that you are well-rounded, taking care of yourself in all those different ways. So you can win in every part of your life. And when I say winning, that's it's whatever you define as winning, but for me, winning as the woman that God called me to be. So I can't win as the woman God called me to be if I'm lying in the bed, sick, ill, and unable to take care of my kids, able to nourish my marriage, able to pour into others in business and ministry. Mental health, same thing. I can't help you if I'm so ran down and then I got to check into a mental health, mental institution, spiritual health. For me as a Christian, if I'm not connecting with God, I'm definitely not receiving the clarity on what I should be focusing on and how to focus on it. So you got to make sure that you're nourishing yourself in all those different ways. And those things will bring you peace and joy. You will feel full. And then you are actually able to pour into others from that overflow. You're able to pour into your family, you're able to pour into your business and all those important different pieces of you. And so, yeah, get my nails and hair done. That's not going to help me to do what's best for me, but making sure you are finding what brings you peace and joy. And it's going to look different for me and you. So we have to really find out what we enjoy, what's going to bring us peace and joy each and every day. It's not just self care Saturday or self care Sunday, like some people say, but you should be practicing self care each and every day.
They get it. They're with you now. I can feel the. I know some of you like, yeah, you're probably bobbing your head right now, like, yeah, I like that, but I got a problem, Shay. What is her perspective? Can she please share on time management and trying to
Mm,
prioritize things? Because all that sounds good, but she don't get it. I got a lot going on. So can you give your perspective on, I don't know, time management, if there's such thing as time management, I don't know, prioritizing things, if there's such a thing, and maybe share one or two ideas that someone could do because they want to do it and they
mhm.
got the heart for it, but they're like, I just got so much stuff pressing on me right now.
Right. And that's usually, for me, I think that's the biggest reason why people do not prioritize self care because they're saying they don't have the time. But do you have more time to try to take care of yourself or be in a hospital? You pick or choose because you're not going to be able to run your business from the hospital. And even as a physical therapist, I'm taking a break from that right now, but I've seen people in the hospital with a stroke, can barely walk, and they're still trying to open up their laptops to work. Really? You are still stressing yourself out and making your putting yourself inching your way towards the grave is what I'm trying to say. You're inching yourself more and more towards the grave. So when it comes to time management, it's really about again prioritizing. Really, even if you have to write down a list of those things that you want to do, and then you can even number them from one, two, three, four, so on. What is really most important in this season of my life? So again, right now, I told you I'm a physical therapist. I decided to take a break from physical therapy to focus on my business. I'm also prioritizing being with my little ones right now. So am I working? Even when I was a physical therapist, was I always working full time? No. Sometimes I took a step back to work per diem. As a business owner, I'm not working all day long. I only have a set time to work each and every day. And when I say each and every day, I'm not actually working every day. I'm prioritizing being a mom, but I am taking time out throughout the week to do something that nourishes me, which is pouring into my business. So it really time management is going to look different for each and every one of us. It may even depend on the season. So of course, if all my kids were older right now, I could put more time into being put more hours in my business if I choose to, right? So sometimes that term you got to work smarter, not harder. But really prioritizing number one, what's your focus? And then how can you start working towards your goals? So I always tell people, for example, let's say you want to go back to school. You may be unable to go full time right now because of your schedule, because of taking kids or whatever, but maybe you can take a class here and there, and that puts you a little step forward to just staying stagnant, right? With the self care piece, you want for example, like exercising. Maybe you can't work out for a full hour like you want to, but maybe you can take out 10 minutes throughout the day, incorporate some movement throughout your day. So maybe parking a little further from your house or your place of business just to get some more steps in. Taking just 5 minutes to sit down. A lot of us don't know how to sit still. So even as a busy mom, if I have to chill out in the bathroom, like I'm using it and I'm not even really doing anything in there, but having some peace and quiet, you have to be creative. That's another thing too. Be creative in how you do your self-care. I'm a mom, so sometimes I have to include my kids in my self-care. Whether we're all sitting together having some quiet time. And they might not really be quiet time, but maybe their quiet time is in the tablet while I'm reading. Put my earbuds in so I'm listening to some scriptures or audio book while I'm still engaging with them or cooking, So sometimes you just really have to be creative. And the biggest thing is really prioritizing what's most important and then finding those pockets of time. A lot of times it's really those pockets of time. Self-care can be as little as 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a full 30 minutes or an hour. You can work your way up to that, but really thinking about what are those small things I can do right now instead of putting my goals off till later.
And as they listen to you, they're thinking, well, Shay, you're talking to the Dr. LaToya Wiggins over there. Who is this person? What's her backstory? Where does she start from? And that has led her to where she is now. So take a moment, if you would, and tell us a little bit about, well, who are you, and what makes you
Mhm.
so great.
So yes, I am Dr. LaToya Wiggins, and again, the doctorate comes from physical therapy. So I've always been a lover of health and wellness since way back, elementary school, and it's evolved over the years. So I've been a licensed physical therapist for I think about 11 years, going on 11 years now. And during that time as a physical therapist, I also fell in love with fitness. So I'm working on losing the baby weight right now. But after I had my first son, I fell in love with health and wellness, like getting fit, actually eating healthy. And by me starting that journey of health and fitness and being a physical therapist, I really prioritize that physical health piece. Like I don't want to just lose weight to look good, be snatched, but I want to actually be healthy because the people that I'm taking care of, most of their health conditions are preventable. We can't prevent everything, but most of these issues, the cardiac diseases and diabetes, these are things that we can prevent with a healthy lifestyle. So that after I had my second son, I became interested in being a health coach. And so that's pretty much where my journey into entrepreneurship came. I wanted to be a health coach. And then
Mhm.
again, as being a busy mom and knowing beginning my self-care journey, having issues with anxiety and depression after having my children, the mental health piece became very important to me. So that's why now I love coaching moms and speaking to moms about transitioning from worn out to winning. That worn out piece is being stressed out, burnt out, dealing with the mental health issues, and transitioning to winning. Again, winning as whatever it is that God has called you to be, winning as a mom, winning as a wife, winning as an entrepreneur, and everything that God has purposed me for. So I really like teaching moms and people in general just to really prioritize again, nourishing yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually to be well rounded so you can really take care of yourself and pour into the best of give the best of yourself to others instead of what's left of you. So that's kind of how it went from physical therapy to health coaching to self-care coaching.
I love it. And you talk about a healthier you, which I think is very important, by the way. And can you break it down for folks that are listening, the entrepreneur that's busy and they're thinking two pieces to it. They're thinking, well, what is her view of the world on nutrition?
Hmm.
And then, like you said, there's the other part, which is the physical part of being healthier. So take a moment because even when you offer things, you always talk about you got to be a healthier you first. You got to be a healthier you first. So you start with the self care. It sounds like get your mindset together and all that good stuff. And then there's the part just about being healthy. So the question, what does it look like from a nutrition perspective, which is a loaded question because people are at different
Hmm.
places in their life and so forth.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get in that, but just touch on the concept and importance of it because I want them to hear that. And then the other side of it, which is like you said, the movement of the body.
Hmm.
Because we only have one body, we only have one temple, right? And that's the only one we're going to get
Right.
that I'm aware of. And we only have one trip around this thing called life. We only get one shot at this thing called life that I'm aware of. So that's the question. Talk about just a healthy you. What does that look like? Feel like?
Yes, yes. So with the nutrition piece and the movement piece, it's really not even just about your body, So let's focus on the body part. Number one, when you're eating well. So when I say eating well, everybody has their different ways, that they want to eat, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, you don't eat red meat, whatever the case may be. Whatever your concept of eating is, just make sure that you're eating those healthy, those leafy greens, right? Making sure when you're making your plate that you have what they call like a rainbow on your plate. So you're having definitely you gotta definitely have those leafy greens, but having a variety, carrots and other healthy vegetables on your plate, having the fruits on your plate. Whole grains. A lot of times these days, a lot of people are talking about no carbs. You actually need carbs for energy, but it's about the correct carbs you should be eating. So those whole grains, right? Not the sugar or refined stuff like the white bread, but your whole grains. And then of course the protein. So whatever source of protein that you are um that you're okay with, whether you're eating the meat, you want to eat lean meat, so if you are a meat eater, if you're vegan, or even if you're not vegan, making sure you're getting things like nuts, just some source of protein, beans. So you want your plate to have to be what I call, I could say well-rounded, well-balanced, so not just having just your meat and starches. You want to always make sure you have a well-rounded plate, okay? And I always say, what is the if you go to myplate.gov or it's myplate.org, one of those two, that gives you a good example of how your plate should look, okay? So really just making sure that you're getting a well-balanced meal, at least 3 times a day. Making sure that you are nourishing yourself with water. They usually say half your body weight. So some people are striving for a gallon. You don't necessarily have to drink a gallon, but making sure you're at least drinking like half your body weight. Um, Making sure you're sleeping well. So, being a busy entrepreneur, a lot of people are not sleeping well. So, making sure that you are striving as an adult for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Even with me being a busy mom and having a toddler, I still have to strive for that amount. So even if you have a newborn, ladies, you got to make sure that you are striving for the 7 to 9 hours of sleep, or getting the naps in when you can. And of course, just having a newborn or infant, that's a season of your life. So if you're past that season, you have no excuse. We got to be striving for more sleep. And these things help us to be more energized. It helps you to be mentally energized also. So you're able to have more focus, more concentration when you're feeding your body these nutrients, when you're well rested. And the foods, they help your mental health as well. So that's why I said it's not even just for your physical body, but it actually helps with your mental and emotional needs also. So that's why nutrition is very good. The movement, all of that really helps with those endorphins, and those things are just going to really pump you up and really keep you energized mentally and physically. So the nutrition helps with mental and physical. So take care of yourselves.
Take care of yourself. I like that. What
Yeah.
does happiness look like for you these days?
Happiness for me, because I'm glad they said for me, because happiness is going to look different for each one of us. Happiness for me is really, again, just walking in my calling, doing those things that I feel that God wants me to do. So spending that quality time with my family, not just being with them in the house, but actually spending quality time with them, making sure that I'm nourishing my family, making sure that I'm nourishing myself, that self-care, and really lately just meeting a lot of people, not just even keeping my same friends, but meeting new people. That makes me happy. It actually causes me to step out of my comfort zone. So like it's uncomfortable but exciting. So those are the things that really bring me joy these days, like meeting new people and making sure that I'm nourishing my family, myself, and getting more and more to my business. So the speaking engagements, and soon I'll be getting back into coaching. These things actually bring me joy. So for me, joy is even so much bigger than happiness. It brings me joy.
Well, then you got to talk about, what does joy look like? What does that mean? He says brings you more than happiness. So I
Uh-huh.
mean, you can't leave us hanging. You can't say, well, it actually brings me joy, not happiness. Okay, so take a
Yes.
moment and give us your definition. We want your view of the world. What is
Yes.
joy to you?
Yes. So happiness, if you think about it, that's like a state. Like in this mood right now, while I'm talking to the wonderful Shay Brown, I am happy. I'm not sad. I'm not upset. I feel good, right? But with joy, even during the ups and downs, I guess you still have that sense of happiness, like everything is still good. So even if I'm having a stressful day with my kids, or a stressful day in business, I'm not feeling well, whatever the case may be, joy for me still says that I'm okay. Everything is still good overall. This is just a moment, a day or a week, but all is still well. That's For me, that's joy. It's not like, oh, I'm down and out and just, yeah, feeling crappy, or if that's a that's the main thing. I feel like, yeah, no matter what goes on in life, the good and the bad, I'm still good. if that makes sense. That's joy
It
for
makes a
me.
lot of sense. On
Yes.
this journey of life, I like to ask the questions. One of my favorite questions to ask, which is, of all the mentors you've had so many mentors on this journey of life. But if you had to pick one mentor and one value or one lesson they shared with you that you could share with us, the viewers, and you at home, this is the opportunity. You get to lean in. I always like to say it's my favorite part because you get to take one mentor or one idea, a lesson that she's held near and dear to her, Dr. LaToya, and she's going to give it to you. And you can
Mhm.
benefit from that mentor that you may never meet ever in your life for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
So talk to us.
I would say my mentor is someone I have met and very dearly is Dr. Cheryl Wood. And I say she's my mentor because everything that she's doing in her business, I value that. So when it comes back to the value, the way she does her business, she makes sure that she is nourishing her marriage. She's made sure that she is taking her kids on that journey. I love, which I've been doing lately with all the busyness. I'm always making sure that I'm there for my family no matter what. So Dr. Sher will travel here, there, everywhere, but she makes sure that she is there for those special moments. She's not going to miss a birthday or, those important moments. And every time she speaks about that, it means a lot to me because I'm like, this is why I'm in business. As a physical therapist, these days you can do some telehealth, but really, being an entrepreneur, you make your own schedule, and that's one of the joys that I find in doing that. I'm able to make my own schedule and be there for my family, those people who I care the most, as much as I want. So just really when she talks about that, and I see how how she is, because you all are tight. That's what I strive to be. Like if I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to do things my way, not somebody else's way. And so I would say like the value is just family. That's really my biggest thing. About my family, my marriage. So I would say that's the biggest thing I've been taking from her. And as an entrepreneur, I know when I was pregnant with my last son, who is now 2, I was just talking to her one time at one of our academies doing a vocalized retreat, and I was just talking about how I was feeling defeated at the time because business wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. And she was saying, LaToya, she's like, what else is it that if you stop doing this, what else are you going to do? And I'm like, nothing. This is what I want. So just even saying that, even times when you feel defeated, like things aren't going the way I want. When I ask myself that question, it's like boom, it just gets me back into the game. Like I just need to remind myself of my why. Why am I doing this? And that helps me to stay focused on
Wow,
completing
says
my
so
mission.
well. I love it. I love it. Um, we have a segment here at the Happy Entrepreneur Show called "Today is My January 1st," and I know you wait for that. Those folks that join every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter whether you're on the YouTube channel at I am Shay Brown, and hit the subscribe button. We want to stay in contact with you, or you're receiving one of the podcast downloads or the on-demand streaming platforms. You're here. We're here. No matter where it is, you're here. So you can go ahead and say those words now. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you. And for those other folks who are joining for the very first time and you're hearing it, today is my January 1st represents our personal mantra. And I think everyone should have their own philosophy. And our philosophy is you get a restart when you say today is my January 1st. You get a do over when you say today is my January 1st. What it means is your past, no matter what the past is, no longer equals the future. And so my question for Dr. LaToya is when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And what was one of your January the 1st moments?
Yes. When I hear today is my January 1st, I mean, today's a new day. So for me, any day for you could be a January 1st. Today's a new day to get things right, to keep on pushing. Like you said, not worrying about the past. So whatever happened in the past, it happened. I can't do anything about it, but what am I going to focus on now? So I would say my January 1st moment was this year in January, the very first week of January, I started my podcast. She is a nourished mom. And my focus for this year has just been focus. That's my word of the year, focus. And that's all I've been doing. Focus and momentum. That's what it was. Focus and momentum. And that's all I've been doing all year. Focus and momentum. I've been doing so many speaking engagements. I got the podcast up and running. I've been connecting with so many people. So that's been my January 1st. Just this year. That was first week of January 1st, and that first week it's been exactly that focus momentum. Like I said, this was my year. I said when my son turns 2, I need to get it together and get back in get back in the game of just really pursuing my dreams and entrepreneurship, get my coaching program up this year. So that's all I'm focused. I feel like I'm hearing Jay-Z in my head. Focus, man.
I love it. I love it. How can for folks that are listening and they may be curious if you're taking on any clients at your firm. So what type of clients are you accepting now in your firm? And how can folks best connect with you over and beyond this conversation?
Yes. So primarily right now, I've just been doing individual coaching for those moms who feel worn out, feel depleted, and they are ready to be nourished, feel nourished, renewed, and rejuvenated, and start incorporating those self-care strategies and biblical principles that will bring them peace, instead of self-pity. I'm taking on those type of clients. And again, that's individual coaching. And I just told you my goal for this year is to start doing group coaching, really get that group environment, because that's big for me. That community piece that I find when I'm getting coaching. So I really want to bring group coaching to moms by the end of the year. And for individual coaching, or you just have any questions, if you want to even get on a quick strategy call, you can contact me. I'm very easy to find on social media. Everything is She is a Nourished Mom. So my website is www.sheisanourishedmom. My podcast, She's a Nourished Mom, and social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, She's a Nourished Mom.
Wow, I love it. Thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. You're incredible. You're doing, I think, one of the greatest things that's needed right now is to make sure we're taken care of as entrepreneurs. All the mompreneurs that are busy mompreneurs are taken care of as well. So thanks for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show.
Yes, thank you for having me, Shay.
Thank you. And thank you, the viewer. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you because without you, guess what? There is no show, by the way. So I want to say thanks for subscribing. Thanks for following us. Thanks for sharing this message. And I like to say every single night, and I don't grow tired of saying it, and I hope you don't grow tired of hearing it because I wait to say this. Like I show up on this show to say just this one part for you that you're awesome. You really are super amazing. You're special. You're one of a kind. And for you, today is your January 1st. And because of that one reason alone, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember, time is long. Life is short. You got to live in that moment. You got to make it count. God bless, and we wish you success. Thanks so much. We appreciate you. Bye-bye, Doc. We out.
Bye-bye.
Peace, everybody.